So, alright, let's begin our session by praying together according to each one's faith, each one's religion. Please be seated. Let's pray together. Thank you very much. Today's discussion will be you presenting your finding after reading the article of your choice from the magazine. Since we only have a 4 submissions, I think. So I'm just gonna give the opportunity at first to Vira, right? Sorry. Vira, and then continued with Franklin, then Mikhail, and then Yusuf. And for Danny and Ariski, you may present next week. Okay, please prepare it well. And also Fauzan that is currently sick. So for each presenter, I will give you at maximum 20 minutes. At maximum, you can make it shorter if you want. You may utilize the materials that you have already submitted, or you can use any way you want. So you want to open any link, extra links on your browser, share it with us on the screen. That will be also pretty welcome. Okay. And based on your presentation later, we will try to connect the dots. So what you shared with what you want to build from the previous week. I asked you to have some idea to develop, right? From the assignment number 1. So we try to connect the dots. And also I will have sort of a theory or concept with respect to design principles. Uh, I'm sorry, that's my series. So let's get started. I will give Wira first opportunity to present this. Oh, by the way, you need to join the Zoom meeting. I only see Franklin here so far. Please join the Zoom meeting without joining. Oh, maybe you can also join the audience if you want. No, 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 no. Yes, we try to connect the dots. Despite that, there will be some gaps there. Maybe it doesn't have any relationship at all. I think we still can connect the dots. We can learn something. Okay? Please join the Zoom meeting so you can share your screen there. I would like to, if it's possible, you can just use your own microphone to identify who's the speaker. Because if all the speakers use mine, I just realized that in the transcript, it's like I'm speaking all the time. So I'm just gonna leave the audio so you can join yours in a minute. So sure. AP Giga, AP dash Giga. Choose that one, not Giga Reality. AP dash Giga. Different. Because the Giga Reality is for our virtual reality headsets. 6164 dash 748. 748. Dash, the hyphen.
Test.
Yes, it's in, I think. So let's hear the presentation from Vira.
So good afternoon, everyone. This is my presentation, Interaction AX Magazine by ACM, the Association of for Computing Machine. And there are a lot of topics from this magazine, but I'm just gonna choose four of them, which is climate care, reimagining environmental data, build your own humanoid toys, and design and deep entanglement. So the first is climate care by Enlight from the University of Sussex and Malmo University. Uh, yeah, it's covered it. So every topic I put it like what's the main topic of the subtopics and what's the purpose and the result. So first of all, climate care. So the main topics revolves around the power of subversion in driving positive change in society and the environment. And the purpose from these subtopics is emphasize the needs for redesigning interaction space and social structures to care the planet and its inhabitants. And what's the result? The result of the passage is to provoke critical thinking and inspire action among readers. Ultimately, the passage aims to spark dialogue and motivate individuals to work towards creating a more sustainable and equitable world. Okay. The second topic is Reimagining Environmental Data by Robert Soden from the University of Toronto. The main topic is to rethink the data usage in environmental context. What's the purpose? The purpose is to advocate for a more inclusive and equitable approach to environmental data management. The result is by providing examples of how neglecting certain communities in data collection can lead to faulty decision making. The third topic is build your own human toys. The topic is the main topic is human toys offer limited customization in both diversity and build your own features. The purpose is to design exploration specifically focus on three major diversity. This is ethnicity, race, gender, and disability. The result is making a 3D printed humanoid toys that have unique external body parts, including head, upper body, upper and lower arms, legs, and hands and feet. For the example, it's just Lego. You can put apart some things and then make it with your own customization. The fourth topic is design and deep entanglement. The main topic is used to address the fast timescales of geological events. What's the purpose? Shaping the fundamental technological condition by which we experience the world, transforming subjectives, agencies, and ontological boundaries. The result is concepts such as deep and transcorporeality thereby become ways to retie potentially severed material and immaterial knots between past, present, and future. That's it for my presentation. Thank you.
Vira, maybe you can help us to give us some kind of
recommendation among these 4 articles? Which one is the most your most favorite? So maybe we can just follow your preferences. We can start to read. If the case that I take this book, I take this magazine now, I will start by reading that article. Which one?
So which I most understand is the human toys part.
Mhm.
So from my experience, I have played with human toys.
Lego.
Yeah, like Lego, not just Lego, like 3D printed toys.
Mhm.
So the issue is people sometimes when they make human toys, they have like one part which is fixed body. You cannot tear it apart. But like Lego, you can tear it apart. Like the hands, the feet, the head, you can change it. You can spin the head, and then it has its own face. But I guess from like the Western countries, they have problems with race, gender, and disability. So they want to have, let's say, a Lego person who has a disability. They don't want the leg part, and then they have that. What is called when people don't have leg, and then they have the assistants. Yeah, but Lego doesn't have that. And then people like with that one has a problem with it needs a disability part and race part. I guess there's not a lot of race. For example, Lego only has white people. There's not a lot of maybe Asian people or from like African people. It's not just whites, and I guess people have problem. And gender, I don't know. Gender has a problem because the amount of male and female gender in Lego is the same, but from the book they say they seems have a little bit of problem. I think that's the
Uh, did they do some evaluation with respect to these 3 major issues?
yes.
I saw that this result is just about the product.
Yeah, the product.
But I didn't see any specific contents you provide in here with respect to their evaluation on these issues. Can you tell us more about this?
I don't know about that. I just read it from the book. I just simplify it.
I mean, did they say something about whether build BYO humanoid toys may affect or influence the creator's behavior on these issues, whether they can kind of become more open to other ethnicity, they can be empathic to uh some other like a disabled person, for example. Is there any issues with respect to this discussed on the article?
It doesn't say such things in the article. It doesn't say that the creator has some feedback from the consumers that this is the actual problem. But like the creator doesn't seem bothered about that.
Really? All right. So, and how is about the interaction issues in the products? Is there any specific interaction technique the author introduced in the article?
It doesn't say, but from my own experience, like Lego has in the box, it stated that this is for the minimum of what age.
Mm-hmm.
But from human toys, beside Lego, like 3D part, is more larger in size. Lego is a little. But
Okay.
what I'm afraid about with large human toys, when kids play it, and it doesn't say what the minimal age, they just gonna eat it or what, or something like that. So that's the main problem from what I've been experiencing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Just only Lego that says this is the minimal age, what, but the other toys doesn't say that.
Did the humanoid toys, this one also is merely for entertainment, or is there any other purpose? The author bring these toys for the users,
Well, from the articles, it only states for entertainment.
just entertainment, not for maybe practicing voodoo.
Yeah,
No, just
no,
kidding. You know voodoo?
it's like the
Do you know voodoo? Voodoo toys? Yes.
yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah. You know voodoo, right? Like a santet in
I
our
think when I'm little, I'm familiar about it, but I forgot.
yeah. Yeah, so we basically kind of use the toy as a proxy
Yes.
for the subject or the object. Yeah, we want to torture.
Yes.
So that's the magic. But I don't think that's kind of a practice for that. But quite interesting. Okay, thank you very much. So maybe later if I take that book, I would start with these topics in particular.
Okay,
Right,
sir.
thank you, Ira, for your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Can we move to Franklin? Oh, sure. Any questions?
If I'm not mistaken, we are supposed to take only one.
Yes, only one actually. That's why I asked Wira to how to say that, to focus on one and to explore more
But
about
afraid
it.
that we are too little to read the entire book.
You are on the right track already. Don't worry about that. If you are the case later, like Wira choose several articles, I would like to ask you to dig deep into one article and mention more about that. One is enough actually.
Huh?
One article actually is enough for this assignment. Yes.
Because it doesn't say how many articles, I just pick four which I
Yes, that's okay. Misunderstanding. No problem. Okay. Can you turn on your microphone,
Yeah.
Franklin, so we can capture your voice as well in the recording? Go ahead.
Okay, I think so. Well, hello everyone and welcome. And today I will talk about the article "Artificial, Better or Worse." It's from the author Jonathan Bean from the University of Arizona. And the article is about the relationship between the humans and AI. If AI could take over humans. And nowadays AI is everywhere, and it's a big deal to check whether AI will take over. Yeah, okay. The article explains that we often follow GPS for driving, but that it's not perfect. It could make an error where you would drive into the lake, which could of course be very dangerous, but you would think the GPS system would be correct. And this tells us that we shouldn't rely on GPS alone. AI chatbots are also becoming more common when we shop online. They can chat and help us like a real shop, and they work fast and they work at any time. But they also collect a lot of information of what we're sending, what the conversation is about, and this makes us think about how we should respect our privacy in contrast with the shopping bots. And AI is used a lot now to answer our questions quickly in stores, but also banks and online services. This is helpful because we get quick answers, but it can also feel less warm and friendly than talking to a human. When robots or AI look almost like real people, it can be scary or strange. The article discusses how this feeling, called the uncanny valley, can make us uncomfortable and suggests it's better to let AI be itself without trying to make it too human. The writer thinks we should use AI for its special skills that are different from people. For example, AI could handle big data or do a lot of tasks without getting tired, of course, instead of humans, which can be really useful in places like hospitals or space missions. AI is often shown as a helper in stories and news, which can make us forget how much it can really change our work and lives. The article says that, well, AI can make some jobs easier. It can also take over some jobs, which might be a problem for later. AI affects us in personal ways, like when we use smart home devices, but it also has big effects on all of us together, changing things like how we work or learn, because you're depending everything on the AI nowadays. The way we think about these changes can affect how society uses AI. Our ideas and stories about AI influence what we expect it to do for us, and we think AI is mostly good or bad. It will change how we use it and make the rules about it. Not only this, but AI tools can also spread false news very fast, and this can be a big problem for how we understand the world. We need to teach AI to recognize the truth and to share correct information. The article warns people that might want to use AI in wrong ways to make a lot of money. This includes creating fake videos or using AI to know too much about our private lives to sell us things. Using AI in the right way is very important. We need strong rules to make sure AI helps people and doesn't cause problems or danger. The future should be about people and AI working together, not only about AI. AI can help us in many ways, but we also need to make sure it doesn't take away important things like privacy or the jobs. When we make AI, we must think about what is fair and good. This means making sure AI is safe and it doesn't harm people. It's time to think carefully about how AI fits in our lives. We should use AI to help us solve problems and not let it control too much. Well, this was the presentation. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. That's quite clear. With respect to your presentation materials, one thing that kind of interesting, is quite interesting, I would like to mention in this class is what's so-called the uncanny valley of the, it's not only about the AI actually. The uncanny valley, this term also appears in the word of virtual reality. So
Right.
these two together, and we will see a lot of such things. Basically, we have many technology, especially in information technology, that try to replicate or mimic the physical reality. AI and virtual reality is two of them. And by saying uncanny valleys, kind of
The picture is
there's a discomfort. There's a discomfort there. So many research showed that if we have a totally robot speaking with us and totally human speaking with us, that is more comfortable. But if we kind of combine them both together and speak with something that in the middle, that's make us discomfort. The same applies to the virtual reality. So when you play games, 3D games, the 3D games also kind of, you may say that is part of virtual objects, virtual reality. If you have something that we can tell precisely that those things are virtual, like watching cartoon, watching something like it's abstract, those things is more comfortable for us. And watching the physical reality, this realism, it is more comfortable to us. But if we experience something that in the middle, like what we experience, what we have right now, so computer graphics try to replicate what we have in the physical reality. The realism in the virtual world is getting better and better, but not perfect. They are still in the middle. By experiencing that, when we try to interact with such objects, such environments, we feel discomfort. This feeling does appear. So the same thing with the AI. It's like now speaking with something that is totally, we know that this is artificial, this is programmed, this is something that we can control, etc. With some program, it's more comfortable. But then when we now facing AI that is close to the human's characteristics, we feel like something like this weird. So that's why when you see like the current products of Midjourney and then the DALL-E and many
Happy Tree Friends. Happy Tree Friends, if you remember.
yes, I know that. But I think Happy Tree Friends still kind of fully virtual, very artificial. So it's still fine. But the discomfort in that sense, in that case, is more about the
Figure.
Pardon?
The gore, the blood.
It's the blood. What was that? The kekerasan, the violence. It's due to the violence, not about it's artificial. It's a different thing. the discomfort in this matter is more about when you generate a video, like I generate Franklin's present some materials in the front of the class, but it's not Franklin. I
Right.
generated using stable diffusion, and it's pretty much alike with your appearance.
Mhm.
It makes me discomfort.
I think the idea is to make when we the AI is to be created. It's while it still remain like a reality, it still have something that is that we know that it isn't a reality.
Hmm.
So like when you talk about the video that replicate human like Franklin,
Hmm.
I think there's already an AI, the Sora.
Like Sora, yes,
So-
Sora AI, the same.
It's look really similar to the like a $1 billion movie, but it's still there's something when you take a closer look, it's still there is something superficial about it.
Now, when I ask you a question about this, Yusuf, do you feel comfortable watching those Sora AI videos?
No.
No,
because,
right?
We cannot we cannot difference between what is real, and sometimes it makes us feel like what if I was in the movie, like I was doing something or what.
Mhm.
And I think so. I think in the presentation of the AI, which that it helps the human work, we need to make it that the something that the human can latch into, that we know that this is not real.
Hmm.
Hmm. Instead
So
of
yes, so the takeaways is in here. This is again, I'm sorry, this is my personal opinion. If the case, it depends on the perspective. If the case the users know that the things are AI, they are currently interacting with AI, they will feel those discomfort. But if they do not know, they are fine with that.
Yes.
So it depends. So if you show that Sora AI generated videos to your parents that do not know at all about this phenomenon, they are fine with that. But since we are in a computer science, we in informatics, we know about this matter already. We feel like something wrong with this.
Yes.
So that's the uncanny valley phenomenon.
But doesn't that mean like when you show it to the people who doesn't know, it's like you're being lied to, that this is like a video that like
Yes. Yeah, they are, it's fine
AI
for them.
generated.
It's fine. So it
Because they don't understand.
yes. So the the point is in the perception. If the user's perception feel like there's a perfection on the things that they are interacting with, then that's fine for that. But because we know that there's some imperfection in this object that we are currently interacting with, then we feel discomfort.
Yeah,
It's
because
kind of weird.
the uncanny valley would be also the same thing as mimicking a voice.
Voice the same.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not only video, of course. Yeah.
All right, but unfortunately, as Franklin mentioned in the last last of his slides, we cannot avoid in the future. The course would not be human-computer interaction anymore, but the course would be human-AI dash in computer interaction. In the Industry Revolution 4.0, the concept is kind of AI will be with us together to solve the problems, right? AI is organisms. AI can think, can make a decision this together with us to solve problems. And AI with us will also interact with the machines. It's kind of weird, but we should accept that it's gonna be the future. We should embrace that. Like,
Then what happens to human rights? Do we give human rights to AI?
That's why some of the in the slides, Franklin said that maybe that will be some job roles will be taken.
It is already.
It's
right?
already.
It's already.
It is already. So we should be prepared for that. But there is one thing that I should I believe that I mentioned that in our first meeting. One thing that AI can do that, one thing that a human can do but AI can't is empathy. Empathy. And in your design, when you design everything later, any products for human being,
right.
if you do not put empathy there, you just put your ego like your design. I believe that my design is good. You do not confirm that with your users, your participants, then there's no difference between your product and your AI's product. AI can do that also.
And an article also said something about that AI could take over many things, but then art is also a bit vague.
Yeah,
As
art
in
is a
the
bit
human,
fake now.
we are saying what is art, what isn't art, and then yeah, AI is just doing it based on what it knows.
Yeah, what it knows.
But yeah, that's just really vague, and probably it would never always take over.
Mhm.
As in, yeah, well,
Correct, correct. Humans, even though AI know like everything about us, but human also develop over times. Our feeling, our experience always develop over time, and that's the things that AI cannot predict. AI only know about the past. We know about the transformative artificial intelligence, the GPT. All of those things are based on the previous human experience. But then when we develop some things, I don't think that it's only about the past. It's also about the future. That's why when you design something, you need to ask to your users, you need to ask to your actual users about their feeling, their expectation, not the expectation, the need and etc., their aspiration, and then you try to brainstorm with those users with those ideas and create the solution that is more that it contains the empathy, not only the past experience that is known already by artificial intelligence. If you check on Scholar, Google Scholar, you can maybe find more about what's so-called uncanny valley. This uncanny valley is quite popular, especially in the computer science and the design work.
Scholar?
Scholar, google.com. Scholar. Yes, Google Scholar, that one. If you want to find academic articles, journals, etc., you should usually use this.
What is this? What can you do with this?
When you want to find any academic articles, so it's a peer-reviewed academic
okay.
article, something that is proven already scientifically.
Right.
You should search here instead of the Google
Google.
in general. This is gonna be very useful, especially when you are pursuing the graduate study. Currently, you are in the undergraduate study, right?
Yeah.
The same with everybody in here. You may type uncanny valley. Maybe we can find something else than uncanny valley effect, etc.
Yeah, that's
It's just so it's basically kind of that discourse of perception, something like that. Two things that I already learned so far is uncanny valley in the world of VR and uncanny valley in the world of AI. I just mentioned. I learned about that, and maybe yet another example to make it more clear about this uncanny valley phenomenon. Me myself, and maybe I will find you also on the same boat with me. So when we speaking about the chatbot that you mentioned, so when we talk about we talk with actual human being, it's comfortable for us. Yeah. And then when we do not talk at all with the chatbot, or at least it's kind of like we know that when we ask this, the answer will be that, etc. It's deterministic. Is comfortable for us, but for me, and also for many people, I found there are many articles discussing about this, and also concluding the things that when we talk with chatbots, it's inconvenience. That's why up to now, there is like no chatbots like sustained in the market, because for many people they are not comfortable talking with chatbots. And one of many issues that emerge is the trust. It's like I cannot trust a robot to serve me.
Now, the article also has a piece of if it will take over also in a financial aspect,
Yes.
as in if a financial advisor could ever be an AI bot, because it's just you feel way more trust looking at the person, not per se knowing the person, but it's very different than just chatting with a bot with all your money on the line. And it then also says that 60% of Americans don't think it would be a good thing to put it in financial.
Yes, correct.
And yeah, I could feel the same.
Yes, you feel the same, right?
Yeah.
It may be different later. We will be
Yeah.
comfortable to talk with chatbot if it reaches the perfection, up to the how to say that, to our kind of we have the threshold of we believe that this is real, something like that. We are now feel uncomfortable with that, because we experience that the answer from the chatbot is literally artificial. We can feel that, but later I think it will reach some perfection level. Some even us computer scientists, even us informatics engineers will feel like this is real, and in that matters, it already passed the valley.
Yeah.
So that's why does it call uncanny valley? Because this is the like a totally virtual. This is totally real. We are now in this journey, and the feeling of satisfaction should be on when the condition or the situation is on the top. Currently, is in here. So whatever is that, if it is in the middle, it's like uncomfortable. So that's the uncanny valley phenomenon in many things.
So I think one thing that might help AI, one thing is to make AI is personal based on each individual, because once we know, and it is open source, and we know we can modify everything in it. And I think that will make us more comfortable talking with AI, so that
Yes.
we know that this AI is only for me, and this AI cannot do what, for example, the AI in the other person does.
Yes, that's I think that's a very good strategy. To make it the AI more personalized, it helps the AI to be more accurate and perfect. So it will help the AI to move out from the valley. Yeah, good point. Okay, for 12 now, we move to the next presenter. Who's gonna be the next? Let me check on the. Can we have Michael?
Okay.
Your turn. Please turn on your microphone, Michael.
Test. Does the microphone work?
Give it a try again.
Testing microphone. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so the one that I picked is about photography. I don't know. I picked like one. It's like it's a personal thing by the author. The author does photography, but he uses AI to do stuff, you know? Like, okay, photography, well, we know that photography is to take pictures, right? And then like it can, well, if the
you-
picture.
Send it to the slideshow so we can have a larger.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Material.
how does this work? I forgot. Wait, is it like this?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. Okay, so photography, well, taking pictures, right? And then, well, there's a quote here in the thing. What's that? The article, and like it's really good, right? I don't know. I just put the quote here. Photographers have the power to over those who look at their photographs, they program their actions, and the camera has power over photographers, programs their acts. So like, I think it's more about like when you try to take a picture and then like you look at the picture, like wow, it's good. Wow, it's not. It's like our like we our actions change based on what we take, what photo we take, or something like that. Yeah. Okay. And then the next one is the author. Well, in the article, he talks about taking hundreds to thousands of pictures with his camera, and then using those pictures to train AI, generative adversarial networks. And then after that, he creates more by using that, possibly endless. So like this is his quote from the thing. He generates like 500 to 5,000. So his thing that he does is like he tweaks it so that there's not too much variation in the data and like not too little variation in the data, so that you know no overfitting and like no abstract blur and like make the pictures broken and whatever. So he believes as an AI photographer that the focus has shifted from finding the unique to looking at patterns. Patterns. The from what I read from the article, the shift is another way to enjoy taking pictures. Apparently, from it seems that this is like his hobby, so I guess he enjoys it. So he comments it as strangely contemplative and reflective, returning attention to detail we're inclined to drift away from. It's like a meditation kind of exercise. So like when you look at like the the pictures, like you look at patterns, and then like when it's different, like oh no, scrap that. Like the different and the exceptional breaks and warps the pictures. It's another way to uh take pictures. So you put in pictures, you put in a certain way so that it looks similar but not similar enough that it is monotonous. Well, and then this is my own and the article says that the patterns are in the world and around us, and the author uses AI to notice these patterns through his hobby, well, photography patterns. What does this mean? And then this is my personal take. New technology may bring a new perspective to an already established hobby. I have no idea people do this. And what can you like can be expanded using other means. For example, the author uses his photography and then like AI, and then like they merge them together. And patterns will always be a concept that humans will explore because uh they're comfortable. Yeah. Thank you for listening to the presentation. And then
Awesome.
these are the pictures.
One of the pictures. Okay, so so let's take a look this. An image taken by the authors, and then that's the on the left, and on the right. So there are two images on the right, right?
Yeah.
Are they generated separately?
I think
Oh no, right sequence is also taken by all the authors.
yeah, the bottom one is using Dolly 2. I think he also explains that he uses Dolly 2, and like the sometimes he uses like the one he created on his own, his own,
Stable diffusion.
yeah, his own generative adversarial network or whatever it's called. It's cool using photography, and like wow. I mean, I have honestly I have no interest in photography, but like I don't know, it just spreads out to me, and like it's pretty interesting how like
Mhm.
I've never seen like people do this, like, wow, you look at patterns, and like I don't know how that works, but I guess that's one way of doing it. I see. By the way, it's quite surprising that the generated image, the ones on the bottom right, contains those white balls.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't even exist in both images.
First thought it was a machine, but
What is that? Is that the flower or
I didn't know.
That's no like
no? All right. I need to further read the article myself. It's quite interesting introduction. Thank you very much, Mikhail.
And so I think I
Yes,
realize
Yusuf.
that this kind of AI that helps in photography can also create a new job that people can, like for example, analyze which one is should be more pleasing and more. I think the best picture from that is generated by the AI. I think that's what.
Do you mean you point a new role for human to become the subject of training?
Yes, I think this it helps that
To
for
train the data, so the human will kind of judge it.
which is the best picture.
This is
from,
good, this is bad.
from that is generated, like because in this kind of AI we need a lot of data, like for example.
Yes, sure.
we are taken like
Sure.
5,000. So I think even in those 5,000 there is still some imperfection where there is if the data input is too much, it's become too apparent the pattern, like
Mhm.
it's too similar with each other, and
I see.
if it's too little then it's outside the scope or maybe not it's one that we did not know.
Okay.
So I think it can have some new profession.
Perhaps, but it should be it's a kind of a domain specific roles like it. So it depends. So maybe for photography, but not the generic photographer, but not the general photography domain, but it's some specific which kind of photography that will require.
Yeah,
Need.
photography is quite niche because I think people still would prefer more manually taken picture than.
For sure, for sure.
People love to look at the unique. This guy likes to look at patterns, like look at the background instead. So it's a different thing.
Oh yes, I think that's the case for the background.
Okay, you mentioned about I may say that it's kind of reviewing the generated images. So we want to have a human being take a role to review generated images. For example, we have that right bottom image. In this case, that human that takes this role as a reviewer should give thumbs down for this. I mean, dislike for this generated image, right? Because it contains something that is not reflective. It doesn't reflect on the previous references, the top image and on the left. Is that what you want? All right. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. And by the way, I also agree that even though there, but I'm not quite sure about for me. I already my perception already conclude that the bottom right is already perfect for me. So that's why it's good enough for me to perceive that I'm satisfied with the photograph that I got on the bottom right. But maybe for professional photograph, they can tell that this is just uncomfortable to receive this result. But again, it depends on it's a matter of uncanny valley again, as we mentioned before.
Now about the what Mikael said about when we have our own Photoshop manually. Usually, for us ourselves, we are more satisfied with that result compared to the one that is generated by the AI, because the AI is kind of just generated from the patterns, and the ones that we capture ourselves is, I believe, is something that is independent to any patterns, independent to any patterns. Is that the point that you want to make?
Wait, what was it again? I guess like if like I would take a picture, I would capture them because they look different, but the author is uh is more like here's a pattern and then I want to capture it so that I can generate more pictures afterwards.
Okay. So in this matter, is opposite. I mean, it's fine for your case as long as you take it yourself, right? So you just want to make other variants based on your manual captures, so that will be fine. Utilizing this AI is fine as long as the references are basically our own materials, our own captures.
I don't think I don't think probably the author doesn't really say anything about like using our own captures. It's just that he captures his own. So I don't think there's a well, we can use the other people's, right? But like I think it's a personal thing, so like he captures his own.
By the way, did the author mention about his satisfaction level towards the results of this generative AI, the products of this generative AI?
I think he did.
What was his thought?
Well, wait.
At least
I think
was he
well,
satisfied?
I think he was satisfied because like from the mood of like the article, the whole article is positive, yeah.
The sentiment is positive. All right. Okay. Mhm. No problem for us. No problem for us. You can drink. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think especially we are academic. We are academia. So we know about tolerance already.
I think some people in the outside, some would offend us.
Yeah. Yeah, for inside campus is fine. We understand already. But if you live with your neighborhood with somebody that's we do not know his educational background, better not to do that. Maybe they will be offended.
Nowadays people get offended very easily.
So it depends on the educational background. It's true. Yeah. I thought actually when I heard your presentation, I thought that the interaction in this article is about between the interaction between the image in other with other image, and they do some interaction. I thought, but it seems that it's not, right?
Yeah, it's about the human taking the pictures and then like the results.
Okay. Because you mentioned about like the previous can you move the previous slide? The way it generates the next images. Which one was that? I think this one. So after reading this sentence particularly, I thought that it's kind of talking about the interaction between images to result in patterns, to result in a new generative image, etc., etc. so it's not, right? So it's the interaction thing still about the
still
human.
still human and like tweaking the images to like make it good.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. I think enough from me. Thanks for bringing this up, Mikhail. Do you have any further question for this topic? If it's not, we can move to Yusuf. Please don't forget to open your microphone, Yusuf.
Before I present, I would like to apologize first. If I'm coughing and my sound is not and my voice is not clear because I'm coming with this.
Understood.
And second, I would like to apologize to Mr. Hanif because I submitted late,
Late,
about
okay.
2 minutes. And so sorry if the presentation is actually too basic using template because I put it together like this afternoon.
Okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Muhammad Yusuf Haidar Khairullah with NRP 051194200022. And in this presentation, I would like to provide the summary and also my thought about the article that I'm reading, which is titled
Indifference.
"The Automated Indifference," which is by David Chatting, which is about our stance about the evolving of the technologies that is perhaps too indifferent that we sometimes there is underlying reason behind it.
Mm.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so let's talk about the early history of the technologies. Okay, so this is the picture of the Crackside House, which is founded by William Armstrong. He is the founder of the American armaments firm called the Armstrong Whitworth Armaments Firm. He is the creator of the hydraulic crane and Armstrong gun. And this house is the world's first hydroelectric powered house. And in this house, he showcases his invention about the using the power of the water to create stuff in the domestic area like water powered laundry machine, a dumbwaiter. A dumbwaiter is like a small lift that carry food from servant below to the dining room,
Oh.
and also the early version of the dishwasher, hydraulic lift, and also hydraulic rotisserie. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm sorry if it's wrong. So it is in the early 20th century where at this time technologies are function as a signal to showcase one wealth, influence, and also the fame of the master of the house. And but it's also hide the ugly condition of the servant, which is called servant below stairs theory, where the servants are so poor and they are forced to work, and the master of the house did not want the guests to know about to hide them in the below the stair or the basement perhaps. And so it is to reduce the need to interact with the servant design. And this is one of his invention. On the left, there is the sawmill. It's generate power, and on the right, it is the hydraulic conversion. Which the mechanism is about like near his house, there near the Crackside house here, there is a waterfall that when it's falling down about 100 meters or more, it can provide some energy when it hit the machine on the outside, and then from here it it can produce some spark and electric and give steam and that powered the house. And this is the picture of his dining room. And here it is the dumbwaiter, the lift for food. The servant is downstairs. That is provide the food, and is the dining table. England. Oh yeah, I forgot. The story is about the early story is about the 20th century of the Victorian house country in England. And on the right here, I think I just wrong image. So this is on the right here. It's not quite clear enough, but this is the hydraulic rotisserie, like kind of rotisserie is. I hope I pronounce it right. It's about like roasting some meat or the kind, but using the power of water instead of fire. Okay. So this is the closer look. On the left there is the dumbwaiter, and on the right the dishwasher, the early version of the dishwasher. Now, supposedly this design of the technologies is to hide the work done by the complex system from blind sight. Now, one thing to keep in mind, but even though this seems like a common sense that to respond from complexity and interference to this invisible labor can regularly create a situation where people and resources are unwittingly exploited, which is I think it's relevant from for today because I think I explain it more later. Okay, wait. I'm reading note. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Okay, so as technology advances from one house to signifies one wealth and fame, and it became mainstream. At this time in the around the 40s, 30s or 40s until 50s, 60s, it became like a public utility service. So before it was like only what is it called, specific people that can use the technology. Now it become public, but it's still not in each one house, but it's a public use utility. Because at the 1950s and 60s, this is the year where mass product of electric domestic electric appliances are mass produced.
Assuming that each household in that 30s and 40s that time have that damn waiter.
Oh, dumbwaiter. Oh, no, well, some of the utility are available public, but well, for example, like the dumbwaiter, right? There is, I think there is specific. Still, there is a servant at the time. So, for the rich people, they use the servant. They use the servant, but they do not show them using the dumbwaiter. But for in the 50s, they use the servant, but apa? It's still on around the house. Sorry if I.
Oh, so still around the house. So they know that they have servants helping them.
Only some of the electric uses are available through the public, not all of the private domestic service. Now, I think this is part where I dislike the most from the article because it's kind of one-sided. Perhaps because I'm also a man, not a woman. This is from quote from Ruth Swart Cowens, which is American historian and also a women activist. She said that these labor-saving technologies concluded that instead of reducing housework, they made it more solitary and more time-consuming, more than ever since higher standards of outcome were demanded. So she thinks that as the technology advances, I think the demand for the higher standard of the outcome of the machine where human are utilizing, it's more higher standard of the result is more demanded.
Mm,
And also this is a feminist from the American also, Arlene Kaplan Daniel, and in her book, her analysis of this invisible work from the technologies that is behind the scene, this private work of the home and the ways in which historically women's domestic labor was considered unremarkable and thus undervalued. So she think that this invention of technologies are invented because they wanted to make housework more insignificant and more devalued, more reduced value. This is from James Auger. He is a lecturer in ENS, a professor and a researcher at ENS, which Paris Saclay, which is considered to be one of the best university in France. He said that electricity as a form of energy comes through socket on the wall that deliver a seemingly endless amount of supply. That is what we user sees. And these ubiquitous generic sockets determine the design of every electrical product, providing it and to the designer role and responsibility. And then came the invention of button pushing. The button is the input to a black box with a simple contract that creates some output by process not to be concerned by the user. A black box contains that which no longer needs to be reconsidered, those things whose content have become a matter of indifference. The push button is also another mean to rendering a labor invisible and also establishing a relationship of indifferent authority, which is the topic. And this is American media, like journalist from America called Rachel Plotnick. She said that to push a button represented a particular fantasy of what I have termed digital command, where certain hands could direct anyone or anything to submit to their will. No longer did manual refer to effort and strength, rather the gentle or just a mere touch of a button promised that only fingertips need to engage with bell, lights, vending machine, elevator, or cameras. These reversal forces that centered on hand practices where a small human force could put great electrical forces into motion suggested that human beings had truly time nature by sublimating into it to oppose. Basically, what she said is that she thinks that this invention of the button is actually a form of signifies that human has conquered nature. Yeah. I think she looking too deep into the invention of the button. Even at the time of this invention of the button, there is a horror book called Button Uncanny Stories by Richard Matheson in the 1950s, I think. If I'm wait, I'm sorry. Yes, 1970s. 1970s, this book was published, and then it is adapted to in 1980s, uh, titled by the same name, Button. The movie is about a couple, which is a struggling couple, suddenly provided with a button that if pressed, someone called them, and the mysterious caller says that if you push the button, this will cause someone they don't know to die, but they will receive 200,000 US dollar. So the dilemma between like will they overlook the consequence of pressing the button in favor of the more obvious, visible desired outcome, even though it is still uncertain if the button will work or not. This switch from a simple command of the Victorian house in the early 20th that the Victorian house used a bell pull to call the servant and then using a push button electric appliance. And ironically now we're using a remote control that is almost found in every house. And then next is the home computing and UBICOM or ubiquitous computing. So this is the first ever PC personal computer that is mass produced called Altair. I think I pronounce it right. Altair 8800, which is mass produced in 1975. This device is commanded by a switch that is also made visible by using LED lights that indicate the functionality. And now as technology advanced through this type of interaction between one button, and now it became richer and even allows for a direct graphical manipulation with the use of screen and then keyboard, and after that the mice. This simple mechanical button is because it's unable to cope with the demand of the nowadays need to prove useful. That's why the invention of the keyboard, screen, and etc. And then this early computer is typically operated in a more isolated area, outside without the outside world intervention. And by the early of the 1990s, the computer network were growing in complexity, and this representational interaction seems to promise not only to overwhelm user with information and complexity. And this is where he came in, Mark Weiser. He is the father of the ubiquitous computing. He says that he provides the idea of the ubiquitous computing, that the most profound technologies are those that disappear. They weave themselves into the fabric of everyday life until they are indistinguishable from it. And then he said, this is just more quote, that from 1940 to 1980s were the first ever computer dominated by many people, and then the second way is still one person and one computer, but it's on hard and uneasy symbiosis or area environment, staring at each other world. And then the third was just beginning, the ubiquitous 1991 has many computers serving each person everywhere in the world, and he called this ubiquitous computing or Ubicom. And the idea is to seek the built real-time contextual understanding of the user, the desired and their physical environment. And the more context that the user provide to the computer, the more functionality the system can provide. But this invisible computer still demand a visible user to interact under the guise of the machine. And next is the ghost work and surveillance capitalism, which is today. Much of the work nowadays are so tightly specified and technology mediated that it can be initiated by remote software function calls across the internet. And this came the word ghost worker, which is it is impossible to distinguish between human work and machine work. And the term below the stair, the servant below the stair, now became below the API. And this is Susanna Zuboff. She is American author, professor, social psychologist, philosopher, scholar. And she also quoted in her book that simplifying of the invisible computer can be exploitative to the user as well, especially in in home environment. And then she quoted Mark Weiser, the overzealous government official and even marketing firms could make unpleasant use of the same information that makes invisible computers so convenient. Basically, she says that this data that the computer needs may be maybe use something other than the computer needs. In her book, The Age of Surveillance Capitalism, she says that today domestic IoT, Internet of Things product, invert the equation of where human exploit the machine, instead the machine exploit the human. That because that a surplus of behavior data is produced to enrich the existing online big data collection in the internet for the purpose of market prediction and manipulation, while offering little contextual interaction in return. For example, like hey Google, I want to eat chicken, and then the Google instead search at what hour we need to eat, etc. So basically, the Google obtain more data from us that is not needed to normally when we ask for like I want to eat chicken, show me the place of the chicken, it only show the place of the chicken, but it researches what kind of chicken that we want, etc. So it's more specific, like a lot of data is gained from the simple interaction, while offering little contextual interaction in return. And this is Amazon Dash button. At this time, I think I'm still too young because I don't quite remember this is ever come out. I think Mr. Haji can provide more.
I also do not know about this thing.
So this is basically invention from Amazon where the purpose is to eliminate the use of shopping. So when you press the button, for example, the bounty, the macaroni cheese,
Okay.
it orders macaroni cheese in the Amazon order.
Okay.
So it worked like using the cloud Wi-Fi from the server,
Okay.
and then automatically order to your house the macaroni cheese.
And the macaroni cheese will be delivered by drone.
But despite that, it is reported to sold million. It was discontinued in 2019. Maybe because they thought that the button did not gain much data surveillance. And this is my thought about this article. I think this article reveals some of the things that behind the scene about the technology invention, which is while it's providing convenience, it also serves to hide some of the bad intention, like hiding the poor condition of servant. And there's also a political side to it where it serves to devalue women labor, and also it can make people or resource unconsciously and unwillingly exploited. Medicine. Also, I think some of the quotes on the article is too radical, perhaps, because I'm a man, I'm not a woman, and I think the utilization of the quotation are too deep and too complex, looking into the invention of the technologies, while simply the intention was to make easier work of the said woman to doing the work of in the domestic housework. This also this also give us some thoughts about the conventional strategies of designing simple and easy to use technologies. This also is actually cannot be easily implemented because as in the article mentioned that there is some underlying thought behind the article that I think some of the people can look too deep into it. So particularly, but I think it is quite right in the sense of the nowadays technology where the ubiquitous computing. In the context of the surveillance capitalism, where the data that is taken by the machine is too rich, too much, and in particular that the quotes that I said, this overzealous government official, it has been quoted 90,000 times since 1991, and around 700 times in 2021 and 2022. This suggests that I think is especially more relevant than ever since the growing use of the AI and technologies.
Yes.
Mm. And it's also suggesting that we as a software designer we became too indifferent to the technology that is progress too fast. And then how do we design the software with less indifference to the complexity,
Mm.
so that it does not, you know, cross this. While it's still easy to use, it's still usable in nowadays culture. I think that's what I think, and also this my
Mhm.
presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Interesting as well as terrifying information that you've shared. Indeed, and I also agree that you said by this overgrowing technology that we witness nowadays with those AIs and many IoT devices implanted already in our many utensils.
Mm, mm,
I think later, if we cannot differ whether the ones that help us solving the problems behind this machine, behind this computer is human or not, we may devalue the things that not the things, the parties that help us behind this back. And it's going to be very terrifying if the case is actually the business process involves the human being. I give you some very good example, and I think you may relate to this discourse. But I don't know. Franklin, have you ordered any foods in Grab Food, Go Food, something like that? So you know that, right? In the case of today's interaction, if we want to order some foods for our dinner, lunch, etc., we still have some conscious actions on the mobile apps, so we know to click there, and we also chat with the driver sometimes, and also the restaurant owners. So the our kind of respect to the human existence helping us fulfilling our needs on that food is still there. Imagine that in the future, as I mentioned, maybe last week I also mentioned about this. So imagine that we have just one button, or in the first meeting, I still remember that I say that I want to eat. You just say that, just that one sentence without any further specific instructions, and then you just need to wait for maybe 30 minutes, and the food is ready in the front of your house. Maybe you have a box there prepared for you, so you do not need to interact with the human at all. But actually, there's some human helping you in the process,
making the food, etc.
So you will devalue the human there, right? But speaking about the interaction with the machine, with the computers, it's done deal. So there's no problem with that. So from the perspective of the users, the needs are fulfilled. The interaction are very usable. So it's a very intuitive and user friendly. So from the perspective of the usability, it's totally fine. It's perfect. But it may devalue.
Yes.
It's blown up. When I heard about the story of that damn waiter, the things that we as the master live on the third floor. If we want to get the food, we just ask on that.
You just pull the bell.
And the food is already. If I can imagine if I I were the adults in the scene, in the scenario, that will be fine, because as adults, I may have some understanding that below there, I have some servants helping me for the food. But for my kids,
Mm.
that's gonna be disaster. I
Mm.
mean, my kids will devalue what is happening in the first world. Pardon?
They don't know the value because
Yeah, they only know that.
Then when you pull this bell and then food came out, then
Yes.
you realized. Mm.
So, there's a new terminology that we learned today: ubiquitous computing. Ubiquitous computing, and you may learn this a lot later. So actually, with the AI, with the virtual reality, augmented reality, etc., it will empower what's so-called the ubiquitous computing in our daily lives. There are many scenarios that may apply with this ubiquitous computing. Ubiquitous computing is basically we can we were helped. We are helped by many assistants that actually those assistants are computers, but those computers are not in the form of those boxes with the cables or with disk, etc. We already know about the cloud computing nowadays. Everything is computed online. So the computer is not there, but actually the computers help us a lot in our needs, to fulfill our needs. And that's going to be a lot of things that with that those kind of nuances in the future. Those are ubiquitous computing. And so the discourse is not only about usability when we talk about this interaction thingy, not only about usability, there will be another issue.
Mm. It's about how do we design the software with less interference to the
Yes.
complexity
Yes.
behind.
Another issue. But I'm sorry, but maybe in my course I will not cover that. That's too advanced. So as I mentioned to you, our case that we will cover in this course is simple. Just maybe just talk about the usability. That's the kind of the most simple measure that we can evaluate, that we can design in this course. But as you might notice, that's actually more things that we need to cover if we in the future really want to become interaction designer.
Mm.
It's more than usability that we need to take care of.
Mm.
Another issues should be handled as well. So maybe that's all the things that we can learn today. I'm sorry that I need to stop here. I still have materials to deliver actually, but maybe I'm gonna keep it next week together with what is your name? Danin and Rizky. Okay, Danin and Rizky, please be reminded that you need to present your materials. Did you take it? Okay, yeah, the application already. Okay, because the cleaning service friends help wait for us already, and I believe it would be better if we leave as soon as possible because the parking area will be closed in any soon. Okay, thank you very much, guys. It's very nice to have all of you today. Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum. Yes, Franklin.
First assignment, since I wasn't there, I didn't do it properly.